Well, good afternoon to everybody who's joining us on Facebook Live. We're trying something new today, broadcasting both on YouTube and on Facebook. So I hope that you all are catching this, clicking on the link and seeing us where we're at. I am Emily Ralph Servin. I am the Director of Communication for Eastern District and Franconia Conference. And with me today are our Executive Minister, Steve Kriss, and Tammy Good, who's a pastor at Swamp Congregation in Quakertown. We're going to be talking a little bit about our Pentecost Worship, which is coming up in a little bit over a week. Very, very soon. And we're looking forward to worshiping with others from across our conference at the same time, Sunday morning, 11 o'clock if you're on the East Coast, 8 o'clock if you're on the West Coast. And I was going to tell you what to expect, but I'm going to let Tammy do that. Okay. So first, I want to say hi to Steve. Steve.
From the conference center at Doc Mennonite High School. This is one of the first. Conrad, our director of finance, and I are here. I do have a mask in case you wondered if it was a fancy, Emily thought it was a fancy French scarf. It is not that. It is a fishing face
You're
cover.
styling.
Yeah, I'm trying to embrace, if I'm gonna have to wear a mask, it might as well be something cool. So at least as cool as I can pull off. But we're here, Conrad and I were here today, and the office remains closed and will be closed at least through the beginning of June when the orders change for Pennsylvania. My anticipation, though, is that our office will stay closed through the yellow phase, as well as the request from Pennsylvania is to continue to work from home. So we did release to much fanfare this afternoon and many requests, some principles and considerations for reopening congregations. So if you have not yet seen that, it's posted on Facebook. It did go out in Bridges today. A few things to think about when you're looking at that document is that several of our congregations never did stop meeting because they were under 10. So as you are thinking about regathering, we recognize that some of us never ceased, at least in physical ways, and others of us never ceased because we met on Zoom and all sorts of other formats. The yellow phase means that our northern and western Pennsylvania congregations are now capable of opening up to 50. So Mennonite Bible Fellowship met both online and in person this weekend for the first time. And some of our Florida congregations, because they've had more lax considerations and gatherings have been considered part of essential services, will continue to gather. So we came up with some, after much haggling around together as staff and listening. My name is on it, but it includes input from lots of different staff and insights. So please take a look. Feel free to interact with us. I've gotten texts about it already, and some of our friends and colleagues from outside of the area have been paying attention to us. So we know that many of us are eager to gather together in person. Some of us are not. Some of us are nervous about what that might feel like. And so there are lots of different kinds of emotions and considerations to think about. Probably in a future conversation, we'll talk with some other pastors who are looking at the new experimental models on what it might mean to meet in smaller groups, congregations that are larger size, above 50. It might be a while, particularly here in southeastern Pennsylvania or in New York City or in Los Angeles, where social distancing, physical distancing will stay in place for probably weeks to months yet.
So I know that for a while we've been talking about the possibility of opening by Pentecost, but that's not looking like that's going to happen.
Mennonite Bible Fellowship got to open by Pentecost. so
celebrate with them.
We celebrate. They got to open a little bit early, but we did talk about Pentecost as the reach date. And I think early on, everything that I had read sort of suggested that should be at least a target. And I think I'm glad to be able to say it's at least gotten us that far, even though for some of us it might be further. So the thing we can I want to talk about the worship, and then we can come back and talk about the Shalom Fund update at the end. But for those of you who can gather in person, we celebrate with you, who are choosing to. For those of you who are looking forward to gathering with the entirety of the conference community online, and also to learning the new name of our conference, Tammy is here to just give us some insights about what we might expect in gathered worship in this different kind of format. And what you're looking forward to, Tammy. Tammy and Emily have both worked extensively on intercultural worship in our conference assembly. We have not had to pull that complexity off in virtual space before. So Tammy, how's it feeling so far? What's invigorating? What's challenging?
Well, when Emily first approached me about doing this, at first I thought, are you crazy? This sounds nearly impossible, especially with the amount of time that when she approached me and said, let's do this. And I thought, I don't even think we have enough time to pull this off. And then secondly, I thought, wait, why are you asking me? I am not the techiest person in the world. So I don't even know how to wrap my head around what it means to try to pull together a worship service when we can't even be together. And so I was a little intimidated at first, but honestly, as I sat down, I thought about what the service could look like, and Emily and I collaborated back and forth, and we started reaching out to people across the United States. I think that was the other thing. I was worried, are we even going to be able to get people to do this? Like, this is nuts. But as I started reaching out and just asking people, are you willing to share your stories? Are you willing to record a song and send it in so we can sing together? Are you willing to be a part of this virtual choir that we're trying to pull together? Would you send in a greeting? Would you send in, let us know you're there? People were so receptive and so excited about us doing this. And I thought, okay, I'm glad I jumped on this bandwagon because this is going to be incredible. And so I think the thing that just really excites me is, one, just hearing how excited everybody else is about it. But then just this idea that we will be worshiping together in, I think, Emily, am I correct? It's like 4 or 5 different languages that we'll have, or is there more?
Yeah, we'll have 5 different languages, and a 6th will be present.
There we go. And so just this idea that, we really are representing all of the churches across our conference, and just being able to hear the languages that they regularly worship in, and sharing that experience on Pentecost. I mean, of all Sundays, Pentecost, seeing how the Spirit is moving no matter where you are just really excites me. I'm so glad to be a part of this. I can't wait to see how it all comes together.
So Tammy, your response to this was pretty similar to mine. It's Emily, it was really Emily's inspiration. And I thought that sounds really crazy, Emily. And it's the same time we're trying to work on rebranding. I have no idea how this is going to work. And I know it's been a good group effort, and really grateful, Tammy, for your willingness to step in again and to be part of figuring this out in a different way. Emily and I have talked before about the excitement of sort of New Year's Eve celebrations where they pan back and forth like across the world, showing different glimpses of celebration, whether you're starting in Australia, Sydney, and then you move kind of across the globe. So we will not quite be that globally expansive, I don't think, at this point, but we will be able to have different locations and different sites, just as we are today. Emily's in Baltimore, I'm in Lansdale. And Tammy is I think in Green Lane, right?
Sellersville.
Oh, you're in Sellersville, yeah. Mysterious Sellersville. So so Tammy and I are kind of close together, but yeah, I'm really excited about being able to have participants from across our geography together in the same space. What have been the unique challenges, and both of you can respond to this. What have been the unique challenges that have happened so far? I can tell you one of the unique challenges for me in my executive minister role is people keep asking me how this thing is going to work. And I just said yesterday is I know that I'm preaching, and I don't even know what I'm preaching on yet. So that's all that I know. I know glimpses of it, but what have been the unique challenges, possibilities? What's that been like so far?
Well, I think for me, especially since my main role has been to reach out to people, I kind of helped put together the directions for the virtual choir and make sure that made sense for what we're trying to do and communicate that with people. I think the challenge in some of that has just been to make sure people understood what we're trying to do, because a few people wrote back right away and said, I don't know how to record myself. I don't know how to do this. I'm not a professional, is what I heard a couple times. And I had to keep reassuring people, we are not looking for professional here. We are looking for what are you doing right in your space, and just let's invite others into your space, however that might look, however that might be. And the things that we've gotten back have been amazing. And then just even being able to explain, how do you send these recordings in? That has been a challenge for me. That's my learning curve right here. But it's actually helped me in my local congregation that I'm serving with, because some of the things that I hadn't tried for our worship services, I'm now going, oh, I can do this now. I know how to do it. So just making sure, communicating and making sure people understood what we're doing and why we're doing it was a bit of a challenge. But as soon as they got it, they were like, let's go. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I would add to that, because we're kind of making this up as we go along. Oftentimes when people would ask questions about it, I have to say, I don't know. Like, I don't know how we're going to do this. Give me a little time. Let me figure it out. Let me explore some options. And we're just figuring it out as we go along, which means that we could be approaching Sunday and we could still be figuring out last minute pieces, right? Which is not, when you come from a culture of planners, or you come from a place where people expect you to have everything figured out before you even try it, because, well, what if it doesn't work? What if it fails? It's really hard to be in that place. But I think for us as an intercultural community, being willing to be in a place where we can take some risks and try some things and be willing for it to fail also puts us in a place to see pretty amazing things happen. And it's going to be messy. That's the reality of being a part of an intercultural community. It's not like, okay, well, we're going to do this, and then in 2 days we're going to do this, and then in 2 days we're going to do this. You don't know when things are going to come in. You don't know when things are going to fall into place. And you learn how to be extra patient and how to work on your own expectations so that you are changed. I love what you said, Tammy, about learning how to do some new things. Like, you are changed in the process of planning this, because you are learning to be a better version of yourself as you interact with people who are so different from you. So I would say that's a huge challenge, but at the same time, sometimes I really enjoy that challenge because it pushes me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, I think the learning process has been really important for all of us in this particular phase. I can say, even for me, we're whatever number of weeks in we are here, and Facebook Live suddenly just feels like, yeah, this is another thing that we do. And people ask me, are you going to be on at 4 o'clock today? And it's become kind of a sense of regularity to it. So as the experience has been traumatizing for sure in lots of ways, but opened up new possibilities in others. If I am really interested in participating, Tammy and Emily, what are ways that I might be able to participate yet in the Pentecost worship? Are there things I can do? Are there ways I can be involved, or are you waiting only now for viewers to log on next Sunday?
Well, we're pretty close. We're very close. So I would say at this point, there's probably two things, and Tammy, you can add to this if you think of something else. But we would really appreciate prayers as we continue to pull all of this together. So we appreciate you praying for everyone who's involved in this, for wisdom and making good decisions and creativity and strength and endurance and all of that stuff. And we would appreciate you encouraging people to tune in and to join us on Pentecost morning, because this is us, right? This is our conference coming together. And then we're planning something very special. If we can pull it off, we're planning something very special for the kids. So make sure that your kids are with you watching this and that you're ready to interact with us. Got it? Okay, that's all I'm going to say, because I'm a little worried we're not going to be able to make it work. Tammy?
It's one of the things I'm most excited about. Definitely. Yes, that was a great teaser, Emily. And I mean that, and that, I think that's been one of our goals all along too, is just to make sure that everyone feels included and that we're representing, all ages, all cultures, just as many different people as possible. And so this service will have a little bit of everything. And like you said, Emily, it might be a little messy and we might have a few people join in we didn't know, but it is going to be a lot of fun. And there will be something very special for the kids. We're keeping our fingers crossed it all comes together.
So Steve, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Emily.
I was just going to say, so we all also are going to be announcing the new name for the conference as part of this Pentecost worship. We're working hard on that. What?
We're not going to do that today?
No.
Okay.
I'm working really hard not to announce the new name today.
Yeah.
It's right on the tip of my tongue. So not today, but Pentecost Worship, we will announce that, share that. Our new website will go live. It's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think that becomes an integral part of our Pentecost worship together. And we would have never guessed this would have become part of our celebratory component to recognize that as a community, we're going through this shared experience of pandemic, which is quite a bit different in each of our individual lives and communal lives. But to in the middle of it, or maybe towards at least one side of it, to have this moment of celebration together and Pentecost, and to remember the Spirit's coming and the sense of the Comforter comes to us, and also the sense of transformation. I think that the name reveal will give for us as we move together as a reconciled conference, and as a conference that continues to reach into new places and new geographies, and continues to be transformed by our intercultural relationships. So thank you, Tammy and Emily, for being willing to put energy into this for all of us. I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful that the only thing I need to do is preach and show up. I'm really glad that there is no tech capacity required for me. I do need to change the Facebook group name on Sunday morning. That's my limited tech engagement. I know that already. So that's probably enough. But and Tammy, I'm hoping, should we do a short promo of your new kids videos that you're doing? Like, are you promoting your sort of Facebook Live kids readings at all?
Well, they haven't gone Facebook Live.
No, I've seen.
Yeah, so I've been doing, it's called Reading in the Swamp, with children's stories. They come out, new ones every Tuesday and Friday. And I usually put them up on Facebook just to say, hey, we got a new one, remember? So that's been a lot of fun. And I don't know if that's why Emily asked me to do something for the kids.
Well, Tammy, I happen to have one of your videos right here. So maybe we
no.
could do just a little bit of a okay, here it is. Give me a minute.
Show it. Let's give a little glimpse.
Let's do it. Here it comes.
And welcome back to Reading in the Swamp. I'm Pastor Tammy, and I'm really glad that you joined us again today for another fun book. I brought along a few friends here with me because I was wondering, what's your favorite animal? Is it possibly an elephant? What sound does an elephant make? Get out your trunk. Ready?
Yes, I do all sorts of silly things.
It's beautiful. I love it.
I did not know that was happening today, so thank you.
Welcome, little promo. That's the fluidity of the conversation. The more comfortable we are in this format, the more things could go off the rails. So.
Yep. So looking forward to Pentecost Worship. It's coming up on May 31st, 11 o'clock on the East Coast, 8 o'clock on the West Coast. We'll have stories, scripture, children's story, prayers, music, and the announcement of the new conference name. Part of what's going to be shared, Steve, is some stories from congregations who have been impacted by the Shalom Fund, which is the conference-wide mutual aid fund that we've been working on together to help support the most vulnerable folks in our conference. Do you want to talk a little bit, Steve, about what's happening with the Shalom Fund?
Yeah, I can just give a quick Shalom Fund update for this week. Our last tally, I think, which was yesterday, was at 118,000 of our 100 up almost really close to our 125,000 stretch goal. Someone asked me if we're going to have a new stretch goal. I think that is yet to be determined. The needs continue to stream in and the possibilities continue to be out there for our congregations and ministries to reach diverse neighborhoods. This week, actually, we released funds for some of our international conference-related ministries in partnership with Healthy Niños and Peace Proclamation Ministries. Resources will be shared through those relationships in India and Honduras. That is us. And we felt like it was a privilege to be able to share globally beyond our national boundaries through those ministries that are extensions of Jesus' presence with us here into diverse communities. And one of my other favorite stories for this week is that the potatoes multiplied again. So thanks to Corey Longacre for making a trip out to bring back a truckload of potatoes again. The Shalom Fund initial gift was potatoes from Summerhill, Pennsylvania. This time were potatoes from Diefendorfer's potato chips from Berks County. So Corey went out, and Corey Longacre from Souderton congregation went out and retrieved them. And I love that I did very little with this other than to see a picture of a loaded pickup truck full of potatoes showing up in South Philly. So there are large efforts that are international and global and localized efforts that are deeply personal. And so I'm really grateful for those opportunities that we get to share with one another. And I just sent a quick text to Antonio. I said, "Did you get potatoes?" He said, "They're unloaded already." So that is my favorite part of the role, when those kinds of relationships flourish and continue to meet real needs in our vulnerable neighborhoods. That's probably my update.
Okay, you took a breath, so I thought maybe you had something else to say.
I always have something else to say, but I think that's probably it. So.
Well, we have information on all of this stuff on our website, MennoniteConferenceX.org. You can give to the Shalom Fund. There's a link right there on the top of every page. You can find out more about what's happening around our conference on our website. And also, that's where you're going to go to watch our live Pentecost worship service in a little over, what is it, like a week and a half from now?
10 days.
Oh my goodness, it's coming up. Pentecost Worship, May 31st, 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific. Anything else, guys?
That's it for today.
We're good to go. All right. Thanks so much for joining us today, Steve, Tammy. It was wonderful to chat. Thanks to all of you as well. And we will see you in a week and a half.
Or maybe sooner, next Thursday.
Oh, that's exciting. There's another teaser for you. Have a great day.